Greetings, guitar engineers. I'm Desi Cerna, and in this free guitar lesson, I'm going to show you how the major scale contains 6 different pentatonic scales. Knowing this will help you better understand scale construction, keys, and how you might want to change pentatonic scales over a chord progression. Let's dive in. I'll begin in the key of C, using notes from the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and I'll resolve on C in the next octave there. Now, if we look at the scale formula for the C major scale, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or you could say root, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then there's your octave. That's your root again. When you remove the 4th and 7th scale degrees, you're left with just a root, second, third, 5th, and 6th. This makes the C major pentatonic scale, which is a 5-tone scale, and these notes can be played in different positions on the fretboard using various patterns. All right, back to the C major scale down here. Its relative minor is A minor. If I use the C major scale notes, but I start on the 6th degree and play A to A, I create the A minor scale. That's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And there's A again. Same notes. I'm just starting on the 6th scale degree in the C major scale, and I'm playing A to A. When I use A as my starting point, now the interval structure of the scale changes. Now I have a root, second, flat third, 4th, 5th, flat 6th, flat 7th. If I now remove the 2nd and the flat 6th, I get an A minor pentatonic scale, which is a root, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 7th. And these notes can also be played in different positions on the fretboard using different patterns. So as you can see, there are 2 different pentatonic scales that are found within the major scale. There's one for the relative major, C major, and one for the relative minor, A minor. And C major pentatonic and A minor pentatonic use the very same notes. The only difference is your starting point. In the C major pentatonic scale, you count the C note as your tonic pitch and your point of resolution. And in the A minor pentatonic scale, you count the A note as your tonic pitch, and it's your point of resolution. But wait, there's more. You can actually build a pentatonic scale for each of the first 6 degrees of the major scale. The tonality of the pentatonic scale, that is, whether it's major or minor, corresponds to the chord quality of each one of the chords when you harmonize the scale to make chords. In my guitar theory course, Fretboard Theory Chapter 5, I show you how to stack the notes of the major scale to create chords. When you do this with the C major scale, you get the following chords: C major, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B minor flat 5, and then I'll resolve on C again. Not only does the C major scale contain the notes to build all of these chords, but you can actually build a complete pentatonic scale for each of the first 6 scale degrees. So let's go through all of them. Now, we already covered that you can build a C major pentatonic off of the first scale degree and the C chord. The next chord in the scale is D minor, and you can actually make a D minor pentatonic from the C major scale notes. The minor pentatonic is going to follow the same formula that you used for the A minor pentatonic. It's a root, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, and flat 7th. And in this case, the notes are D, F, G, A, and C. And all of those notes are contained within the C major scale. Moving on, chord 3 is E minor, and you can actually make an E minor pentatonic scale. So that's E, G, A, B, and D, and all of those notes are contained within the C major scale. Next, you have F major, and you can make an F major pentatonic scale. And again, all of those notes are found within the major scale. From here, you have G major, and you can make a G major pentatonic scale. This brings us to the sixth, which we already covered. It's A minor, and you can make an A minor pentatonic scale. The seventh chord, B minor flat 5, is not typically used, and you can't actually build a complete pentatonic scale on it, so I'm leaving it out. All right, let's review. So you can build a pentatonic scale for each of the first 6 degrees in the major scale, and the pentatonic scales follow the same major-minor sequence as the chords. So chord 1 is C major, and you play C major pentatonic. Chord 2 is D minor pentatonic. E minor pentatonic. F major pentatonic. G major pentatonic. A minor pentatonic. So as you can see, all of the notes from these different pentatonic scales are contained within the full parent major scale of C. And this is actually true for all keys. So no matter whether you're in the key of C or the key of D or the key of G, you can always follow the major-minor chord sequence with major and minor pentatonic scale patterns. And those pentatonic pattern notes will be found within the parent major scale. All right, now let's talk about application. So you might be wondering, should I be following chord changes in a key with different pentatonic scales? Or should I just stick with one pentatonic scale? Let's go over your options. So let's say we're in the key of C and we're playing a piece of music and the tonic chord is C. You can actually play the C major pentatonic over the whole progression regardless of how the chords change. So to give you an example, let me play a small portion of the song Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. It's in the key of C and it uses the first 5 chords in the key. It sounds like this. All right, so even though I'm making use of several chords from the key, I can still play the C major pentatonic scale by itself over the whole progression. Now, another option is you could actually change pentatonic scales over each chord. Now, this approach is obviously more difficult because you have to switch scales and position yourself in a different pattern for each chord. But sometimes going through all this trouble is necessary because it produces the sound you want. So whether to change scales or stick to one scale is a matter of preference. You choose what you want to do based on what you think sounds best with each piece of music that you play. Generally speaking, the most common approach is just to stick in one scale, and this is certainly easier. Sometimes when you're constantly changing scales, it just sounds too busy, but both approaches are used at times. For example, the Beatles' Let It Be uses a handful of chords in the key of C, but the guitar solo sticks in just the C major pentatonic scale. My Girl by the Temptations is an example of when you would change scales. It's also in the key of C. It uses the chords C and F, and the song's riff actually switches back and forth between the C major pentatonic over the C chord and the F major pentatonic over the F chord. In Jimi Hendrix's cover of Like a Rolling Stone, he plays a mixture of chords and scales by embellishing the chords with licks from their corresponding pentatonic patterns. All right, so as you can see, the major scale contains 6 different pentatonic scales. In the same way that chords 1, 4, and 5 are major in a key, you have a major pentatonic that stems off of those scale degrees. Chords 2, 3, and 6 are minor in a key, and you have a minor pentatonic scale that stems off of those scale degrees. Typically, when players solo over chord changes, they stick with one pentatonic scale that corresponds to the primary key. But sometimes players will follow a set of chord changes by switching pentatonic scales for each chord. When you switch scales like this, you're technically still in key because all of the notes from the different pentatonic scales are still found within the parent major scale. Well, if you found this video helpful, click like and leave me some positive feedback. If you have questions, post them in the comments below and I'll reply. Well, perhaps this lesson is just the sort of thing you need to be learning now. Or maybe your playing needs attention in other areas. If you need help determining what you should specifically be working on right now in order to move forward with your playing and reach your playing goals, go to my website, guitarmusictheory.com. Answer the questions I ask you about your playing, and I'll send you free custom video instruction calibrated to your current level. I'll put you on the right track so you fill gaps in your playing and reach your music goals. Go to guitarmusictheory.com now to enroll in your free video course. You can click on the link in the video description. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Desi Cerna. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell to receive alerts when new videos are uploaded. Then keep playing and stay tuned for more.